Why, thank you, Anna. Well, it hasn't been a great month for organized labor. First, the UAW smacked down by Volkswagen workers in the state of Tennessee. Now, 10 union members in Philadelphia have been arrested, rounded up on a list of charges, including conspiracy, violent crime, and arson. Reporter Jullian Melchoir has been investigating this for National Review. Jullian, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, 10 members of Philadelphia's Iron Workers Local 401, based in Philadelphia, had a group, it was kind of hilarious, they called the Helpful Union Guys.
The thugs.
The thugs.
The thugs.
What did they do, allegedly?
Boy, allegedly, I mean, they sure behaved like thugs. This indictment ties them to a Quaker meeting house that was vandalized. Somebody went in a few days before Christmas, took basically a blowtorch and targeted several critical structural points to the Quakers. I mean, these are the nicest group of people. The indictment also ties them to an attack on non-union workers at a Toys R Us where people were beaten with baseball bats, had to go to the hospital. I mean, these are very serious charges.
What century is this? I mean, this really sounds like something out of, you know, the Pennsylvania coal fields in 1910 or something. I mean, unions still have problems with behavior like this, I guess is the headline.
Yeah, it is. And I was actually surprised to see the indictment happen. So when I was looking into this a year ago, what I found out basically is that for about 4 decades at least, the construction trades unions, not just the iron workers, have been totally dominating the industry. They do it through violence, vandalism, harassment, intimidation. And I talked to people who'd been shot at, who'd had explosive planted at their site. I mean, it's very scary stuff, and I think they've gotten away with it. It's been a culture of impunity.
Well, how is that exactly?
Well,
I mean, if organized labor turns criminal, it's organized crime. I mean, by definition, so why isn't the Justice Department on this?
Well, it is this time, but it's kind of difficult. There are all kinds of federal protections for unions, and I think probably the most notable is the 1973 Edmunds ruling in the Supreme Court basically says that you cannot prosecute or even investigate a union for criminal activity under the Hobbs Act, unless it's engaged, if it's engaged in quote-unquote legitimate union business. So what is so unique here is they're making the argument that the iron workers, as soon as they started behaving like a criminal syndicate, were no longer engaged in legitimate union business. Now, that'll be interesting to try out in court. It isn't unheard of, but it's pretty rare to attack it as, I guess, like a mafia organization.
Yes. How sad. I mean, there are so many decent union members, especially in the construction trades. I know a ton of them, and they're not hacks and they're not bad people. They're just working men. They're discredited by behavior like this.
Yeah, it gives them a bad name. I mean, if you go into Philadelphia and you're talking to people in the construction trades and you mention unionism, I mean, the wall comes up. It's something that's definitely an agent of fear there, and I think that's a purposeful image that they've projected in Philadelphia to control the trade sector, but it's definitely not the kind of PR that the unions want.
Well, it's confusing me. So the feds have jumped in on this, as you said, but what about the city of Philadelphia? How could you run, if you're the mayor of Philadelphia, how could you not have known about this?
Boy, that's the question. And the indictment actually hints that maybe the next round of what they're looking into will focus on the political actors. I know when I was talking to people there, they felt that the unions are heavy campaign donors, that they definitely had political connections. Yeah. And also, you know, a lot of times police wouldn't investigate it very thoroughly. I mean, again, exceptions. I knew cops that were looking into it very intensely. But I think in Philadelphia, I mean, you can break down the reports, you can look at how many convictions, how many even arrests, and it's completely disproportionate.
Could that have something to do with the fact that police departments are by and large unionized?
You know, that's what a lot of contractors think.
You think?
That's what they think, yeah.
It's the Brotherhood of Labor. Jullian, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.